Controversial law concerning dogs raised for food is still dividing people in South Korea months after it was passed and months before it takes effect. The law will make it illegal to sell and eat dog meat. The practice has become less popular here in recent years and angered animal activists who are embarrassed South Korea still allows it at all. But dog meat's considered a healthy, traditional cuisine by some South Koreans. The Associated Press reports that roughly 33% of people there have said they're against the ban. The government says it plans to find new homes for about 500,000 dogs that were raised for food, while paying dog farmers and restaurants that sell the meat to help cushion their loss of income. But a dog meat industry group says the money being offered isn't enough. Some activists are concerned that farmers might try to breed more dogs to get more in compensation from the government. It's a complicated issue in South Korea, and it's one of several nations, including China, Indonesia, and some countries in Africa, where the centuries-old custom of consuming dogs remains. Thank you for starting off your week with the world from A to Z. I'm Carl Azuz, reporting from our studio outside Atlanta, Georgia. The city received more than 11 inches of rain last week when Hurricane Helene passed through. But the effects were far worse in Florida's Big Bend region, where the storm made landfall Thursday night, and parts of North Carolina and Tennessee, which had seen days of soaking rain before the hurricane even hit. Officials say Helene killed at least 90 people across Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. In Floridian communities like Keaton Beach, houses were swept off their foundations. Helene was a Category 4 hurricane when it came ashore near Perry, Florida on Thursday. Its sustained wind speeds were 140 miles per hour. The storm surge, the rise in seawater levels blown ashore, was 15 feet above normal in some areas, causing massive flooding. At least 17 people were killed by the violent weather in Georgia. As much as a foot of rain fell on parts of South Carolina, where 25 lives were lost. And the death toll was even higher in western North Carolina. Asheville's historic Biltmore Village was flooded by the Swannanoa River. It washed away homes and devastated communities. As of last night, our news colleagues there said grocery stores were out of supplies. Gas stations were empty or closed. There was no power, no running water, no cell service in some places. So first responders didn't always have clear direction on where to go.
Communities in the southeast are grappling with widespread devastation after Helene made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane on Thursday. Asheville, North Carolina is experiencing the worst of it as entire communities have been trapped by floodwaters.
We've lost communications capabilities. It's very difficult for us to move around the community. Many of the roads are closed. Trees are down. We're clearing those as quick as we can. And a lot of the critical infrastructure that we become used to every day in normal times is now gone, and we have to work around it.
Hundreds of roads remain closed in western North Carolina Sunday. Crews are working to reach people who are trapped with limited supplies.
Our biggest need right now is to take care of the people that live in this community. We need water desperately. We have yet to receive any water.
Millions of people remain without power across several states, including Tennessee, where dozens had to be rescued from floodwaters on a rooftop of a hospital.
I've never seen a hurricane disaster in Tennessee that has looked like this, not in the years that I've been here.
In Florida, where Helene made landfall, communities were wiped out from storm surge and strong winds. Countless residents are displaced. Boil water notices are in place in multiple counties.
We've got a couple things to remedy, but then it's mostly going to be the homes and the businesses and fixing that.
In Keaton Beach, Florida, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
On this date in world history, the Magic Flute by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was publicly performed for the first time on September 30th. The year was 1791, the venue was in Austria, the opera was on its way to becoming another great success for the composer, but his health was failing around this time, and he'd pass away in early December of the same year. One of the great feats of American engineering was dedicated on this date in 1935. President Franklin D. Roosevelt spoke at the site of the Hoover Dam, America's most expensive water project at the time. It's been celebrated not only for its achievement, but for its artistic design. And on September 30th, 1947, a World Series was broadcast on live TV for the first time. It was also the first series to include an African-American player, Jackie Robinson. The New York Yankees defeated the Brooklyn Dodgers and would go on to win the series.
Word of knowledge. What is the most common type of sugar? Sucrose, fructose, glucose, dextrose. Is one of the most simplest carbohydrates, is found naturally in plants and fruits, and its name is sucrose.
Even aside from the desserts we eat, sugar is added to a variety of foods you might not expect. Ketchup, canned fruits, certain kinds of packaged meats, yogurt. I was surprised to find it even in a jar of spicy salsa we bought at the store. So it's no wonder why, with sugar floating around everywhere, our bodies would learn to crave it and resist giving it up.
There's a reason why we consume it. We feel calm, we feel good, we feel energized. But once our blood sugar drops, we need more sugar to get us back to where we were.
The American Heart Association recommends limiting added sugars to no more than 6% of daily calories. But since added sugar is in a lot of food, many may not even know how much they're consuming, says registered dietitian Kristen Kirkpatrick with Cleveland Clinic.
So we're still training our taste buds that the sugar is there, it's satisfying us, even though we may not be intending to have actual sugar throughout the day.
To curb sugar cravings, Kirkpatrick says to start the day with protein. It can fill you up, making snacking the rest of the day less likely. Next, look for ways to cut sugar. She says the easiest place to start is with what you drink.
Sugary sodas, juices, they make up a huge proportion of where we're getting that added sugar content.
Get good quality sleep. Kirkpatrick says we're more likely to have comfort food cravings when we're tired. And stay hydrated. Not drinking enough water can make you feel hungry even when you're not. Finally, remember, cutting back isn't easy.
We need to give ourselves a break and recognize that sugar is probably the hardest behavior change to make. You're probably going to fall off the wagon. But the key here is to get back up.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
Some teachers from Kansas I spoke to over the weekend said we never mentioned the city of Olathe. We did back in April, and we're doing it again today. Olathe North High School is where Miss Schleicher's class is watching. It's great to be part of your day in Midway, USA. Checking in with Mr. Humrocky's class next. Royal Oak Middle School is in the city of Royal Oak, and that's in the Wolverine state of Michigan. And Mullica Hill is the name of a historic community in New Jersey. We're excited to see Mr. Wharton's class there at Clearview Regional Middle School in the Garden State.
Take a look at breathtaking images from around the world that make up the cream of the crop of the 2024 Bird Photographer of the Year competition. More than 23,000 images from photogs of all ages were submitted for consideration across multiple categories, including bird behavior, birds in flight, comedy, black and white, and more. All are spectacular in their own right, but standouts include this haunting moonlight silhouette moment from South Africa, this silly slip-sliding penguin in Antarctica, and this bird's topsy-turvy tree view in Spain, which took top honors in the Young Photog category for an artist just 14 years of age. The competition is in its 9th edition and celebrates not only the talents of these artists and the beauty of birds, but champions the cause of conservation to protect these winged wonders. I'm Jeremy Roth.
Just hope none of them got angry or caused any maladies if they thought the photographers were robbing their images or mocking birds by taking pictures. It wasn't like people said, "Watch the birdie," or "I'm gonna make you a starling." That would take a lot of gall, though they did hawk the photos to a competition. I guess it goes to show that wildlife photography is for the birds, y'all, and it gives the winged winners something to crow about. I'm Cardinal Azuz for the World from A to Z. We hope to land on your screens again Tuesday.